December 2nd, 2025, City of LaPorte Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Annette Leffler. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Member Romine?
Present.
Mayor Dermody?
Present.
Member Kosher?
Here.
All present.
Approval of November 18th, 2025 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Flavor approved. Public comments, we have none and nothing online.
Nothing yet.
Department head reports. We will begin with Andrea Smith.
Nothing today, sir.
David Heinhold, planning. Now that you said rarely, come forward, my son.
David Heinold, planning, just working on Plan Commission next week and Board of Zoning Appeals reports, getting those out. Meeting on Tuesday night, 6
And
p.m.
just as an FYI, bollards had to be taken out and Weller.
Yep.
And the Federal Railroad had said if we don't put them back in, they would take away our quiet zone. The, what are we calling them, the base product?
Plunger?
No, please. The base unit that is needed will be delivered this morning,
It's great.
so we'll get them out today. Bert Cook, Economic Development. I have no report, Mayor. Roscoe Hoffman, IT.
Nothing apart from on the agenda.
Chief Snyder, and thank you to you and your team for keeping everybody safe. I know you had unfortunately 2 fires.
Yes. Yeah, 2 fires over the weekend, but luckily nothing major. No one was hurt. That was the main thing. So our guys got them under control pretty quickly, and both houses will be repairable. So.
Jeff Batchelor, and Jeff, thank you to the street team and yourself. You were up many hours. You probably haven't been up that long since high school, and thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to commend all the guys and gals that work for our city streets and that stuff. They did an outstanding job with the way it came down. And, you know, people need to be thankful for us getting out there doing that because, you know, you still look at the on Facebook and do that stuff. People still out there until you get in their shoes and you plow snow and you get out there and actually see it going on. You really don't have nothing to say. So that's just me, but everybody did a good job. It's the city coming together during that because we had firemen, we had park department people, everybody come together and helping out.
And private business.
Yeah, private business too, yep.
Also, I know you've been working on the Teledyne property.
Yeah, I got paperwork to condemn it, so we'll go over and talk to him today to condemn that property because there's no water suppression system in it. So.
Thank you to Chief Snyder for
No
working in.
active water suppression. There was a water suppression system.
But
There is not an active one that works.
there's no heat in there that they can even make it work.
Thank you, and thank you to Mr. Otis for making that happen as well. Legal.
Nothing to report.
Rachel?
We have a couple items on the agenda.
The clerk treasurer.
Nothing to report, but would like to circle back to the claims when you have a chance. Thank you.
That was a nice, soft way of reminding my forgetfulness. Tucker and King Engineering.
We are working on wrapping up projects for the end of the year. Winter's on us, so construction season is ending. And along that same line, we're starting planning for next year's projects. So exciting time.
Do we hope Slicer Pathway can be completed?
We're going to complete as much as we can. The concrete work should be done this year. Any repairs to asphalt we'll have to complete in the spring. It's just the asphalt plants won't be open by the time that
It's
occurs.
looking really good.
Yeah, it looks very good. I think we're about halfway done already. So
Thank you to you and Mr. Minnick
it's been a good effort.
making that happen. Jerry Jackson.
Just report our crew's been running around, so our 30 pump stations
Microphone, yep.
30-odd pump stations and making sure everything's running in the cold and nothing's freezing up, and all the little heaters that are in all those are all working, and kind of really making sure we're safe for winter and cold weather.
And I know we're also in a difficult position whether rates stay the same, we do not increase those, or we honor the people's request of making the necessary improvements to keep the waste flowing and not having the backups that they've been coming to. And I mean, to be honest, I've heard from people that said they want to see, especially Lawrence, you know, we were on Lawrence Street and so forth. The only way these improvements can happen is looking at rate increases. And I think we have to address those concerns. And what we can say is any rate increases, which are still well below the state average, all go into the field or go into the facility, correct?
It's entirely driven by our capital plan. You know, the sewer separation, treatment plant repairs drive our rates. And you try as a department head and the mayor, I guess, to say we're going to proceed at such a rate, we're going to try to bring our infrastructure up to snuff, but yet do it at such a pace the rates remain affordable and, as you said, within the state average.
And below the state average, and as well comparable. I mean, if you look at our water and wastewater, which we try to drive costs down, which you've done well at, but people want quality water, they want their waste to flow, and our monthly bill is less than a cell phone bill, I think, a monthly cell phone bill.
Yeah.
That's true.
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
so we can't
Let alone all
ignore
the
it.
streaming services.
Well, and so I think, you know, everything I've heard from some residents that they want to see this continue, that we do have to address the rate increases to make sure safety first. Because if we don't, what are the issues that happens at wastewater?
At the treatment plant, you start having violations, which can be $25,000 a day, fined by the EPA. And of course, degradation of downstream water, which we are tributary to the Kankakee River, where other communities pull their water. And of course, it's a recreational stream. So yeah, we have a responsibility to make sure our discharge is of water quality standards. And then in the collection system, the things you mentioned, backups.
For the residents, that's
For the
where they
residents.
see the problems.
For the residents, you see sewer backups, you see sinkholes in the street, you have pump station failures, which can result in basement backups and failure of sewer service. Those sort of things take money to bring up to current, and some are quite old. We're looking at the pump station on 39 North. Upgrading those pumps, they run fine, but we're looking at upgrading them and realize that they're 22 years old.
And those were well before any annexation consideration.
Yep.
Those have been there. And if people have concerns or want more information on where their money goes, you've been very good at offering, both you and Mr. Werner, you're offering tours at any time to come look, see where their money goes. And we're not increasing salaries based on those increase in rates.
Our rates are driven by capital planning, without a doubt. The money goes to the capital projects to.
But as well, you want quality people
Yep.
paying good wages, because if you don't,
That winds up costing you. Yeah, you gotta have people who know what they're doing.
and then if we want clean water, Mr. Werner, to continue your situation, you've got funding to do several projects, and we need to continue to make sure, you know, with all the development, housing, data centers that are happening, or data center with Microsoft, and the quality of jobs that are coming here, we need clean water that goes with that, and our infrastructure needs to happen.
100%, and not only that, but you know what people don't realize is water systems were put in for fire suppression. Drinking water was an afterthought of the water system. So not only do we strive to provide quality drinking water to the residents, but to make sure that when there is a American rubber fire or a compost fire, that we have the pumping abilities to supply the fire department with the water they need. A lot of our projects are based on supplying future water supply for the city of LaPorte. We're drilling 4 new wells. Well, 2 are in, drilling 2 more. Those should be water supply for the next 50 to 60 years for the city of LaPorte. And then the redundancy of our plants. Basically, you want either one of your plants to support your load on the system. That way, if something happens, you have to, remodel or upgrade the plant. That one can still handle the load. It's a little tricky of a situation when you do have a large fire, because we do need both plants at that point. But that's kind of what we're setting. We're setting ourselves up to improve both of the filtration plants and just a secure quality water supply for the city of LaPorte for the next 50, 60 years.
And as well, I think Chief Snyder wants to make sure, because of the fire out at the fairgrounds, or I call the fairgrounds, 10 million gallons of water. Can you imagine if your water flow wasn't there?
Yeah, that would have, there were buildings within reachable distance of that fire. And housing the Juvenile Services Center in particular, they felt that with the smoke, and it very easily could have jumped that line to get into those buildings. So there are some people that say that, it didn't affect people with health because it was out there kind of by itself. It really wasn't. I mean, we had a number of people that reported back from doctors' offices of that they took in patients because of the smoke and everything else that went with it. So for us to be able to get that under control, I know it seems like a long time, a week that it took, it could have went for weeks had we not had the water supply that we had out there. And that was thanks to our water department and their team and the whole city team, as well as private businesses.
And again, water, wastewater, fire, they're all part of, next Tuesday, we have I think a housing meeting based on one of our commissions. And we have people that are apparently opposed to affordable housing, such as Advantix, that is working well in many communities across the state. We have some higher-end housing happening up near Briarleaf that I don't think the residents purchased the golf course, so the #1 builder in the nation purchased the golf course to put additional housing that the Healthcare Foundation, Unity Foundation have said we need 4,000 homes roughly. Is that right, Mr. Cook? Correct. I didn't hear you. Correct. Okay, 4,000 homes of all types. And if people have those questions and concerns, come to the meeting. But more importantly, get your answers ahead of time. Call City Hall, 362-0151. Call my cell, 363-7293. We just hope people have factual information and aren't opposed just to be opposed, because they're the same ones that have been saying we need more housing. And also, you'll give free tours to the media if they want to come water and wastewater.
100%.
No special tours, right? It's just the same as everybody else gets.
The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is last week we opened
That's
up.
why I moved away from you, so you wouldn't talk anymore.
We are in the process of opening up our Soldier Memorial Phase 2 bids for the rest of the other 2 wells and the well houses that go with that, and to finish up the pipeline from, basically right now it stops at Spruce and Central, to bring that the rest of the way down Central and down Lake Street to our Lake Street filtration plant. The bids came in really good. All of them were around the engineer's estimate. We do have one low bidder that I'm meeting with, because their quantities and totals are quite a bit lower than everybody else. So before we award that, we're gonna have a meeting with them just to make sure that everything's up to par before we award that contract. I'm hoping to do that in the next Board of Works meeting.
And doing that project, how does that help our residents?
So that's what I was talking about, bringing in that raw water supply to the Lake Street plant. Right now, the East plant, Plant 2, does about 65 to 70% of our pumping. The Lake Street plant was built in 1929, 1928. So bringing that raw water supply to that plant gives us the redundancy that we're looking for. We did a lot of testing around there. I know everybody's concerned about the lake level. We have historically always taken water from around the lakes. Doesn't affect the lake level. We're not pulling it out of the lake, we're pulling it out of the aquifer. So they're 180-foot deep wells, way below the lake level. So that's something that comes up quite a bit.
And the residents will see, so if one of our plants went down, they won't see a problem.
No, that would keep both of our plants up into their 6 million gallon a day capacities.
Excellent. Mark Schreiber, Park Department.
Morning.
Good morning.
Unfortunately, the poor weather last week and the snow and the wind and everything prohibit us from opening up the ice rink. So it will be open this weekend. We are on track for that. We're able to get the snow off, get a few more layers on. So we'll be open Friday. It'll be free skate Friday. This week is sponsored by LEAP. So everybody can come out. You have to register in advance. Make sure the waivers are signed. You can do that at laporteparkandrec.com. We'll have skating, and that's 4 to 9 on Friday. Saturday, we'll have skating from 1 to 9. It's just $6 per person, and that includes skates. And then on Sunday, we have Buy One, Get One Sunday. That is sponsored by the Sons of the American Legion. And that's from 1 to 7. And again, you buy one, you get the second. And again, $6. Skates are included. So lots of opportunity to skate this weekend. And then we've got a pretty busy December at the Civic with Christmas events. Starting this Saturday, we have a production of Hansel and Gretel by the Eclipse Dance Group. Then on the 13th, we have the Holiday at the Pops, presented by the LaPorte Symphony Orchestra. I know the floor is sold out, and they do have a limited number of balcony seats left for that event. And then December 19th, we have the Christmas Wizards, which is a Trans-Siberian Orchestra tribute, along with some classic rock mixed in, so it's a real fun night. Family-oriented, we have tickets for as cheap as $10 in the balcony for ages 13 and under, so it is a great family event. So we encourage people to come out, enjoy all these things available to us in December.
Also, from radio this morning on Stump the Mayor, there was a lot of requests for police versus fire on the ice rink, and I said, if we're going to be putting some people into glass, I'm all about it. I think they would like that as well.
Well, I didn't know that you meant hockey. I thought just see who would fall down the least, but yeah.
No workers' comp claims, please.
We'd be happy,
Off record.
we'd be happy to have them out there.
I skate in my tennis shoes.
Yeah, just keep the slap shots low so we don't take out any windows, so, thank you.
Thank you. Department heads that do not have business before, go enjoy a great day in the city of LaPorte. New business, Ideas in Motion Partnership Contract.
Can we go back to claims, Mayor?
Claims approval, clerk treasurer,
Yeah. Really
Art Dillon.
I'm sure State Board of Accounts will be very happy we get these approved. We have civil city payroll from 11/21/25 in the amount of $541,356.44.
I move we approve the civil city payroll.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Civil city claims in the amount of $1,059,540.97. There is a bond payment in there as well.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Water claims in the amount of $634,379.49. I believe there's a bond payment in there as well.
I move we approve the water claims.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And then sewage claims in the amount of $337,185.70.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And I'm sorry, I have two more items for your hopefully approval. One would be to add to the agenda the 2026 Indiana Department of Transportation Public Mass Transportation Fund Operating Grant Agreement. What this is the state's portion of our transport funds. That's, you don't have it in your packet, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I'll send this up to you. Every year, transit gets money from the federal government, they get money from the state, and then we have our local share. This matches our local share, but it's from the state. It's in a PO amount of $72,420. This is for DocuSign by the mayor. I will send it up to you guys for review, and we just need board approval for that operating grant agreement.
I move you approve the NDOT operating grant agreement.
Second.
Discussion, and I would just like to say, transport, we had 115 riders yesterday. Many of our employers, 50, at least, or close to 50 of the 115, we take and bring home from work. Others are senior citizens that are going to doctors, doctor appointments, the pharmacy, the grocer. This is a long-lasting and will be held transport into the future. But funding, when you see where government is spending their time at the federal level, at the state level, and we're fighting and literally competing, if it wasn't for the clerk treasurer and some of our staff members at transport and Andrea Smith in the back at HR, they've done amazing work because the bureaucracy that goes on is unacceptable, and transport is so important to our low income, to those trying to work, and to our seniors. We've got some buses that are down and need some funding, but we don't have that extra funding right now. We're scraping through wherever we can, and you know, when we talk about the importance of things, and the federal government's talking about $1,000 for firstborn, that's great, $2,000 out to residents. Let's also talk about paying off some of the debt and putting the money to the most important. And we all talk about helping the low income, but this is definitely an area that helps the low income.
Mayor, to add to that, I believe, I think yesterday I saw transport pull up to the high school. I'm not sure if I was picking up a student or a teacher or an employee, but just to add to the utilization of transport by our community.
100%, and that's been going on for, I think, 5 years with the school now, where we take kids. So we've turned it around. We've got a quality team of people working well together, and it's funny, if you sit at transport and listen to that phone ring, it's an important part to our community. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And last item I have for, recommended for approval is this has become our norm just for cash flow purposes, but we would like to do a claim from our credit card fund 6609, revenues generated through credit cards at the Civic in the amount of $18,134.92. That's a transfer from credit card fund to Civic non-reverting, $18,134.92, and that's through November 24th, I believe. Asking for approval on that.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion, and again, the clerk treasurer has led the charge since day one on cashless. This has been a program that has been difficult to institute based on history, to transition. It was reminded to transport yesterday again in a meeting that we will be cashless in 2026. That's where the world is. The world is going with technology, data centers, and everything. We have to be, LaPorte can be on that world stage for our community with jobs that help provide that technology, and cashless is an important part of that, so.
Oh, yeah. What, Mayor, I'll add something that, and I don't know if, I mean, going to a concert, or I was at a Blackhawks game a month ago, like, it's all cashless. We're not doing anything unusual or abnormal with this. This is the way, I guess I'd call it the way of the world, and I think a lot of people might complain that they like to pull out cash. I still carry cash, not a lot, but, you know, I still carry it, but that is the way these types of events work. So we're not even on the cutting edge of this, right? We're probably a little bit behind, but it's important that we kind of complete this, which I think we have completed, right? We are cashless, right, in terms of the Civic.
Civic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was at a Notre Dame hockey game, and I had an easier time buying something than understanding the rules of hockey, but I'm learning slowly but surely. So do I have a motion?
I think I made a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Another great opportunity here with Great News Life, a partner that puts out the positive things that are happening not only in our community, but within our region. Chris Malman just recognized one of our city council members, Julie West, at a recent function, basically a difference maker for her great work that she's done passing legislation about Play for Jake. Ms. Annette?
Hi. So I'm presenting this agreement because Jessica is on a much-deserved vacation. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But basically, we've had an agreement with Great News Life for several years, and this year they are offering us the same agreement as we've had in the past, and that's the agreement for the entire year for $9,350, and that includes people at all of the events and social media assistance. They create some content that, you know, has to do with our events and things. I think there's a newsletter, if I'm remembering that correctly. And so we've done this several years, and that's $9,350. They're, at this time, also offering us an opportunity to do a 3-year agreement with them, and that this cost would stay the same moving forward for each year. I asked our communications director if she had a suggestion, you know, a preference, and she said it really didn't matter, that the money was budgeted, and whichever way the board decided to go was fine. Because we've got 1 year or 3 years, and the 3 years, each year is the same. There's no discount to do a 3-year. But the price could go up next year.
That's the biggest thing, the rates would go up. Would there be a consideration or motion with the clerk treasurer approval to do a 3-year contract at that rate?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Just, is there any, I don't think I noticed, there's no like opt-out.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, I don't,
Oh, yeah, and I couldn't
To
answer
choose
that.
one or
I
the
could-
other.
I mean, I could get that answer for you, I'm sure.
But I think as long as they are in business, this would be, and it has been a great partnership, and I would tell you, for the future, as our tax revenue continues to be reduced through 2031, any opportunity to show the communities outside LaPorte to come to LaPorte, live in LaPorte, I think we're in a growth mode. That's the only way local government is going to be stable. We are completely on board with growth, and this is an important part of that.
Is the motion and second for the 3-year contract?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Motion passes. Travel Indiana agreement.
This is a fairly new agreement. I believe that we've had this agreement with Travel Indiana for about 5 years now, or maybe 4. I'm not sure on the exact amount of time that we've had this agreement, and it's been really, really great for us. With this agreement, we get a lot of content in a magazine that goes all over Indiana, to all the toll road stops. It's delivered to local places who do ads in it. I know, on a personal note, my brother owns the Lakeside Lavender, and they did an ad in there, and they had tremendous response from their fairly small ad in there. They had a lot of foot traffic from that. So it is in the communication director's budget to do this, and she's asking permission.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
And again, I think when we're talking about growth, this is another opportunity that I think the communications director has found very beneficial for the city.
Yeah, no,
She'll include all of, like, the civic activities, the city activities, everything that's going on in each of the.
And we have a quarterly opportunity for new content, so it can be timely. It doesn't have to be all included like in one thing at the beginning of the year. She can
Right.
do timely content throughout the year.
and I mean, I think there's a lot of good empirical data that they share in terms of subscribers and views, and both for the Great News as well as this. I'd love to see if we have any ability to see, like, not unlike your brother's story, right? I'd love to know if we have anything more concrete in terms of actual impact for
Sure.
our community from that, between the two.
And I don't know, I mean, Jessica might have an answer for that
Yes,
for you,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't, I'm sorry.
I mean, it seems like,
It's hard
it's
to-
very intuitive, I mean, because I look at these, I subscribe to the Great News Life, you know, I think it's
They're
through
a
the
beautiful
Facebook feed.
magazine. I mean, it's
So, yeah.
really
Yes.
a beautiful magazine, and I don't know, I think people enjoy looking at them. They disappear from here. The small amount that I get each quarter, I mean, they disappear fast.
And I think people were from around around Indiana. I think year one, we did a staycation of the lake, and that
There was a
drew-
contest involved, and
That's
there was a
rave reviews.
high,
I didn't remember, I didn't
you
remember
know,
that.
Remember the
buy
people
into
stayed
that.
on the lake, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I just wanted to say one thing, your discussion about going cashless. I travel all over the state for travel baseball. You cannot go to a venue anywhere in the state of Indiana for Little League. And this is Little League travel baseball, mostly run by park departments. Everywhere is cashless. They do not take cash. If you don't have cash for your $40 weekend pass, you're not getting in. I mean, you have to have a card. There's
Right, and the whole.
no exceptions.
The whole purpose is for internal controls to eliminate the ability for misappropriation, for people to steal.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation, really. I do understand some people just want to pay with cash, but
Sure.
it's in the city's best interest.
I
for
just, you know,
safety
you're talking about going to a professional hockey game, but I mean, I was going to park departments across the state, and they're cashless, and there's no, like, they don't care, there's no exceptions. So,
Is the park department cashless?
working on it, right?
I think we're,
Concessions are outsourced, so we don't control whether
and as well, I think Ms. Leffler has traveled the state. When she says that, she means it. And I think our park department fields at the Little League level, while we always have work to do, is it fair to say we compete extremely well as one of the top facilities from a field perspective?
Kessling's beautiful.
I'm not kidding I'm not kidding. I think there's two travel ball tournaments for.
There's 7 or 8.
Okay, so for my, boys travel ball, whatever, that age group, there were 2 last year, and everybody really enjoys the local tournaments. You hear them talking about it.
Nick Otis.
Was it last month, Jerry, I believe, Rural King came before the Plan Commission to partition off the mall into 2 parcels. And kind of a broader discussion started with them about their utilities on that property, because I think there's a favorable recommendation for that partition. However, what would happen if that was approved by the city council, the issue would be that private utilities would cross one parcel onto another. Okay, so as an example, just the easiest to understand, the sewer runs from Andrew Ave West. Am I saying that right, Jerry? So Rural King, which is on the far west side, their utilities are not, they're private, and they would flow through another private property owner. We have had issues in the past, and Jerry can give multiple examples, I think, throughout his career, where we've not had a dedicated sewer, stormwater, water lines, and something breaks. You get into a match between the property owners about whose responsibility it is to fix it. We end up in the middle of it, and it's not our problem. So we have asked, and they've been willing to do it, to dedicate all of the utilities on their property to the city of LaPorte. If this development would have happened today, this would be pretty standard. This was obviously, Jerry, when you were-
70s, early 70s?
Yeah, so just a different era. So we would like to hire Kyle and Associates to do the surveying, legal descriptions for all of the utilities on that property. I think some of the water lines may already be dedicated, but we want to get a complete inventory of those, and that will be then dedicated to us. The cost per hour for Kyle and Associates is $185 an hour, up to $1,480 a day. and we're estimating 3 to 4 days for that work. The reason we're recommending Kyle and Associates as well is they've done previous work out there on that property. It'd probably be the most it will be the most cost-efficient route, because they have already started, previously done work, so.
And this is a benefit to the city?
It is. It would allow this sewer to be used to serve other parcels beyond the Maple Lane Mall parcel. It wards off, I've had a fair amount of problems, primarily with residential property, where the sewer plugs or breaks, and it's always this on who's gonna fix it. And that's the situation we're trying to avoid. So you have, each parcel has a separate connection to the public sewers, public water, and you don't set up a conflict in the future. And again, there's this, the utilities could, if the property is redeveloped, if adjacent properties, which there are a few, are developed and need sewer, then we would have a service there to serve those other properties.
So would this, would this be a creation of an easement?
Correct,
would.
yep. So we need legal descriptions to define what that easement is. Typically, and again, relying on Jerry and Tim in engineering, you want 10 feet at each side of where the utility runs, you know, in order to service that. The other thing, we were fully transparent with them, there's potential development, you know, kind of west of that area, that this would allow us to continue to move west potentially, so.
Should they not pay some of this cost if it's a benefit to them?
I mean, we could certainly broach that with them. I do think there's a pretty significant benefit to the city of having the westerly access that we don't currently have, so.
Yeah, in particular, there's a large parcel that was recently cleared that we can't, in the city, that we don't have sewer access to.
Directly behind?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay.
There's a benefit. It's a win-win for both parties. You're raising a very fair point.
Yes.
If we didn't have this, we wouldn't be, I don't think, be able to access their sewer from Rural King if that
We'd
property.
be asking for permission to tie into a private sewer. It would become very difficult, and maybe we'd be going through the same process.
But there is also a benefit to them having the city.
Absolutely. If you're selling a parcel and it doesn't have access to public sewer, that's an issue.
So I will say, Mayor, we have, this would have been on the council's agenda. We, on the city end, have kind of held up the partition of this so that we can resolve this issue, because we did not want property to transfer. It would make it much harder to do this later down the line. We're happy if you want us to go back to Rural King. There is a benefit to the city of doing this as well. Their plan, the reason they had approached us, I think, was that I'm losing track of my time. Was that November when they came to us?
I believe so.
They had a buyer lined up for the eastern portion of the mall. So that deal fell through, but they anticipate there's a lot of interest there, so.
We recommended a grocery store.
And again, we have been doing that. Mr. Cook has continually been doing that, and has been difficult to have a grocer based on the freezer costs and justification of revenue.
Obviously, it's your call on how to handle it. I will say that they've been very professional to deal with. I think historically, the owners, prior to that, it was a heavy lift to get responses from them. So we want to move forward. Regardless of how we divvy up the cost, we should move forward with this, though, so.
I would agree on that.
Well, because Mayor, I was thinking along the same lines, that like that there's significant benefit, and not that there wouldn't be benefit to the city. And we're not talking about a tremendous amount of money here, obviously, but I'm just thinking of really the responsibility to maintain that private sewer, if it were to stay as is. We take on the responsibility of any kind of repair, any kind of work. Now, of course, there's a real benefit right in development, kind of behind the property, but it does seem like it does seem like we would be not, a lot of the benefit would be for them, which, I mean, I think they're a great, right, they're a great tenant there, I shouldn't say tenant, but owner of the parcel and a great thing to have in the city. So,
Yeah, certainly, we'll do whatever you want to do here. This wouldn't happen if this, in Newport Landing, this is not how this would go, right? With the, we do it different, there'd be dedicated lines, I think that might already be done. We're talking about, we're inheriting how something was done 50 years ago, right? So,
I would be open to the concept, and I don't want to delay it. I'm the last one that wants to delay anything, but move forward with a split, a shared cost, 50/50.
I'd say that's very fair.
you can do that, and then I would say let's move forward with Kyle and Associates so we can get the ball rolling on this, because they're gonna have a buyer pretty quick, and so I think they want it done, and we can certainly approach them with that.
Mr. Omine, would you agree, not agree?
I do. They don't need a survey from everything that they're doing when they dedicate the lines. There's no survey needed on their end.
They're
I mean,
actually providing us all their survey documents and their title work and all that.
So they've had that
They've had that, so,
that are done.
yep. So
So
we're
going
benefiting,
outside of that.
we're benefiting from previous work they did. Lowers our cost a little bit.
Yeah, I think you can try to get them to split it with us, but move forward regardless. That would be my motion.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Roscoe Hoffman, website hosting.
Good morning, Board. Hope you like my suspenders. I wore them especially for
You and the prosecutor
Kosher.
look great.
Thank you, sir. What is before you? But I believe, did you get the quote that we had there? Okay, wonderful. Well, what you have there is actually, it's a two-step process. The first part is web hosting and maintenance, and the second part is security remediation. So what we have right now, who are with Three Lakes Marketing, we don't have any maintenance that is being done to the website. If there's any maintenance need to be done, we pay every time we request it. Most recently, there was something that was wrong in the hosting the INI file. The INI file is specifically on the hosting server. We can't touch it. The error and the issue that was in the file, we still had to pay for it because she said that, hey, this is work that we had to do, and there were other issues that were regarding that. So now what we're trying to do is moving from this to go to a new developer who is actually not just going to host the site, but there are also known issues that are in the three sites that you're seeing there, which is the Parks, Live in the Lake Life, and the City of LaPorte websites, to go through and make sure that we're cleaning the site, making sure, also updating, and then the big one, which is most importantly, the conversation we've had is also to make sure that we're ADA compliant. I've had conversations with Mr., forget your name, David, but we've had conversations to make sure that we're up to date when it comes to ADA, and that is of the utmost importance in order for us to make sure that by 2027 April, we are ADA compliant. We would need to move forward with this. I tried to also, and I'm not trying to be wordy, but trying to give you as much information. I tried to also appeal to the state. The state had a wonderful resource. Thanks to Mrs. Parthun for passing that information along. And I had a meeting.
Great job, clerk treasurer.
Yeah, great job, clerk treasurer. We had a very good meeting. The unfortunate thing was that it's going to be $6,000 per site. So we would be spending $18,000 in order to get those sites up. It's because of the amount of pages and resources that we have per website. So what I have before you is really our best solution, and hopefully you would approve it. Any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
And just for the public perspective, how much total?
So this total would be $7,135.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
I was like, wow, I did not see that number.
Don't let me ask that question again.
No, yeah, 7,000. 100, but now, that 7,135 includes the security remediation, which is a one-time fee. After that, it will go down to, what's it, about 45, roughly 4,500, 4,600. Thank you. Yeah, 4,635.
So when we had that issue, what was that fix? How much did that cost us?
So it was about $250, $300. But anytime there's maintenance or any request that we have,
Any
we
fix?
pay. Any fix.
And
We have
this
to
is,
pay. This
this piece is included, right?
This is, they're doing the
Or in this piece.
maintenance, we don't have to, yeah. So
And
if there's
there is a-
anything, if there's any problem, we send it, and they fix it, we don't pay.
And there is a conflict of interest statement on file in the city from a transparency perspective.
Thank you, sir.
With the savings.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve,
So moved.
Second.
discussion.
How often does the security portion need to be done?
Wonderful. That's a very good question. So that's just a one-time fee, because there are issues that are currently in the website right now, so that's trying to clean it. But the maintenance that we'd be paying for afterwards would be, that would be part of the ADA and also part of the security cleaning.
So we wouldn't have to do that type of thing later because we're
Exactly.
doing the maintenance all along?
We're trying to do it now, because
Gotcha.
it's never been done.
I get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that makes sense.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Andrea Smith, Law Enforcement Training Reimbursement.
Do you want us to handle, Andrea? Okay,
Nick Otis.
thank you. Actually, Rachel Doty is going to.
Rachel Doty,
Rachel
everybody.
drafted
Everybody's
this.
passing it along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I believe it was,
Ma'am.
all right, is that better? Okay. July 1st, 2025 statute changed, and we're now permitted and able to recoup costs for law enforcement training for first-time officers if they would leave our department within a 3-year period of time to work for another department. And so this reimbursement policy mimics the statute in terms of what we're allowed to do and the decrease over the 3-year period of time. So I think it would give some money to the city if we did find ourselves in that situation, training a first-time officer and then seeing them leave within 3 years, so.
And we would charge the community, not the individual.
That's correct.
And I think this is,
Yes, the second
If they were to go to
public employer.
Michigan City, they pay they suffer the cost of.
Yes.
Prorated cost.
Yes.
Of, like, the 3-year period? or
Depending
how
on
does
when the
that-
officer leaves, right, so.
So in that scenario, Michigan City could pay for their ILEA or NILEA costs and all of the training or all of the expenditures we had made to train them up till that point in time.
This is fantastic.
you better want somebody, if you want to hire
If they're
somebody,
gonna-
you're going to really commit to it, right, chief?
And/or us as well.
So I love this idea. I'm a little concerned that it just says attempt to recoup. Is this really how successful? I didn't see any language to me that kind of says this, we will be able to recoup this.
Well, I think that we would go after the second employer, not the individual. So the money would be with the municipal agency presumably, but like I said, this is a new law, so it's not something that's been in the books since July of 2025. So I don't know how successful it has been or not been, or unsuccessful it has been or not been, for that matter. But I would think it would be pretty guaranteed to get it from a secondary agency, as opposed to the individual.
Because that was the intent of the law, I believe.
Correct. Mr. Koji, you raise a very good point. The ordinance, or not the ordinance, but the proposal uses the term may instead of shall. You know, if shall means like you have there may be a scenario you could envision where you don't want to go out, maybe it's just a mutual parting of ways with an officer that hasn't worked out for one reason or another. I
see what okay.
This gives us the discretion, right? So to decide, and I would think 99% of the time, my advice to the city would be, let's go after South Bend or Michigan City or whoever that is. This should help eliminate this issue that every department was engaging in to some extent, right? So it costs, I don't know, what is it, according to $26,000, some crazy, I mean, you're, maybe more than that. But-
Gotta be more.
Well, they have them go through training, I mean, the total costs, I mean, between salary and all that, I mean, it's,
We have to get that number.
I'll give- I mean, it made a lot of sense.
It's a big number.
We can wrap up $100,000 in the first year of training.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So, made a lot of sense to be like, hey, Laporte, you put this person through all this training, we'll give a 10 grand bonus. I mean, any community's net ahead after that, right? So.
But you're saying the attempt is on our part, not on, if we choose to recoup the costs, we can recoup them.
Correct. This gives us the discretion to do that. And again, the discretion most of the time is gonna be, let's try to collect it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
obviously,
a brand new
It is brand new, and I think what's most important is we're setting ourselves up with Indiana code to have all the policies in place to be able to recoup those costs. That's what the purpose of this policy is.
And other cities have
doing.
gotta be passing this or have passed this. correct?
Everybody should pass it. I mean,
This was part of my most recent clerk treasurer continuing education, so we just want to make sure we're set up to be able to recoup the costs should this situation arise, and I'm sure it will arise, so.
And this will be part of the onboarding.
Correct.
Sorry, Andrea, cut you
That's
off
okay.
there, but that's the plan. We'll put
Yep.
this in the personnel file of the employee.
Yes.
So,
It will be presented at onboarding.
They need to
What-
sign.
Yep.
What all would be included in training? Like, is there a list, a detailed list of what's, like, I know they go to academy, but training could be, we have a training center.
Right, but we still would train, even in our case on the fire side, we'd send them off to a training facility. We don't have the instructors, we have the facility now, but we don't have the ability to train as a team, which is what would happen there. So that, but you figure in the gear, everything else, and I mean, when I say the $100,000, that's including the salary that we're losing for that and benefits on top of it. But I know this is specific to the training, but very easy. I mean, I'd have to itemize everything out, but it will start adding up very quickly because add in that they have to have specific, in our instance, turnout gear.
Right.
We're looking at $10,000 worth of turnout gear by the time you total all of that up. So you start
Is that
adding these.
specific to,
That's specific to a firefighter. That has to
Cannot
be,
be
yeah, that
traded
is,
for the
OSHA
next.
requires a specific fit for each individual firefighter. So once that firefighter no longer uses it, we don't have the ability to reissue it to someone else.
so who will keep track per, sorry, Mayor, per
we'll know.
firefighter? Don't you have to keep track of that then? Once you have to do separate accounting to some degree? I mean, you went to the class. What did
Each
they say?
department would take care of their own accounting. It's all in our accounting system, all the details of everything is in our accounting system, but the police department and the fire department would track that.
and I'm not asking this question because I mean, I think we absolutely should approve this. I would love to see the other department be compelled to pay, should we decide to attempt, but obviously it's.
They're obligated,
Code
like
is
if
the
it
code.
meets the statutory
Oh,
definition,
so
they're
they are,
obligated.
okay,
Yeah.
so that,
Yeah.
okay, then that.
This
that-
should really discourage, and I'm not being critical of other communities, because this is a discussion we had internally. It's like, what, if we could poach somebody, and, I mean, it's a no-brainer financially, so.
We have to be on top of it, though. There are pieces that need to be in place, and then we have deadlines that we have to meet. So if we were to say, I think there's like I don't know the specific deadline, but if we miss the window of being able to recoup those costs, then that's over. So we have to have all these things in place, follow Indiana code, try to recoup the cost based on this Indiana code, capture everything that we can, and then invoice. And yeah, they're obligated by Indiana code, they're obligated.
But to Mr. Kosher's point, it'll be interesting with this language, with the can, attempt, may, it'll be interesting if someone challenges this, where it states that they're obligated to pay, from the statute perspective,
But this
because.
is the statute writing, I mean, this isn't our writing, correct?
Correct.
Right.
That's,
Okay.
but from a state
This is-
perspective, I'm not sure,
How it could be interpreted?
it seems like
I mean, it's possible.
there's
and
no obligation in
I'm
my
not an
mind.
attorney, but it's possible that the wording is such that you have to allow for some some instances that are way outside of, you know, kind of that, on the edge of the bell curve of situations that could occur. So you can't maybe compel.
It says
But,
only your
yeah.
subsequent public employer may be required to reimburse for the cost of training.
So I drafted this based upon statutory language.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have changed any shalls or mays. I think Nick might be pulling up the statute directly, but 2 points to echo back. Ms. Parthun indicated a timeline. It's 3 years. So if the 3-year window of time has lapsed, they've been employed with us for 3 years, or we don't take any action for 3 years, then we're just out the cost. And then Ms. Romine, you mentioned costs, like who keeps track of it, how much have we expended? There's a blank, as you will see, because again, this will be included in onboarding, they will sign it. And that's where it will be filled in exactly what's been spent so far, so that the officer is aware of the costs that we're looking at there.
And again, I'm not saying at a local level, I'm saying at statute.
Yeah.
At the state level, they've left a little bit open.
There's a little wiggle room in there.
But
that
also per
hopefully-
Indiana code, we have to have this policy in place to recoup costs. I'm just trying to make that clear. If we don't have this policy, we can't recoup costs from another governmental entity.
And we can always update it. So with this, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
One last question, sorry.
Please.
Doesn't obviously apply if it's Niles, Michigan. Obviously, it's only within the state of Indiana.
Correct.
Not that we can't attempt to recoup it, but this applies to inside
Correct.
state lines. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Chief Snyder.
Thank you, Mayor. As I mentioned in the past, the LaPorte Fire Department is a merit system as far as outlined by the state of Indiana statute, which means that a long time ago, back in 1985, we joined into the merit system as opposed to basically a political system in the fire department. Having said that, we are part of what is the 5-member merit commission, and that means that we have representation from the firefighters as well as the city council, as well as the Board of Public Works and the mayor. It runs in 4-year terms on there. We are at a point where one of those, of the firefighters' representatives, it needs to have an election held. So I'm asking permission for an election to take place on December 18th, with nominations to run through today, through the 9th, a week from today, and the 18th would be the following Thursday after the 9th. Reason that I asked for a little bit of time there is because the way that this is set up is that the fire department has 2 representatives that are elected, as I mentioned, each to a 4-year term. But one of the little prerequisites is that they have to be politically affiliated with each of the parties. Currently, this one would need to be affiliated with the Democratic Party. Miles Fettinger is the current member on there. So it gives the clerk treasurer's office time, once nominations close, to do background to make sure that they have voted at least 2 of the last 3 times in the primaries in a pulled a Democratic ticket.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Jerry Jackson.
Request permission to solicit bids for the lease of our Head Creek property. We've got 73 acres out there that we farm or cash rent and put our solids on. That's our primary place of disposal for all our solids. We generally do a 3-year contract, so it comes up every 3 years, and we ask for bids. I've got a set of documents from last time. I was gonna provide them to the attorney and have him review, see if the same documents still apply. But this is kind of a routine thing, and our current contractor happened, we take the high bid in this case, because it's cash rent. He also is involved in our land application program, so that's nice. But yeah, it's a roll of the dice who's the high bid next time. It's been other times it's not, so. But I request permission to go ahead and request bids.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So it's another 3-year contract?
It'd be a 3-year contract. And the form of contract we use allows them to stage each year have an increase. And we look at the value, overall value of the contract and picking the highest value.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Biotower distributor repairs.
This is the project that the board approved emergency repairs. They've done very nice work in the portion of the job we directed them to. They've I've got some pictures of the finished product somewhere in here. Oh, I'm sorry. And but as they got into this, and can you pass those around? As they've got into this, and we've been sending a couple guys down there to do inspection, we discovered that the center hub of this thing is very badly pinholed, and it could function because it's made of thick metal, but it's so pinhole it's getting to the point it's leaking. This was a really.
Can you share with what we're looking at?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're looking at, this is the overall device that distributes water on top of our trickling filter.
Okay.
And you're looking at elements of it. And the bottom line is we need repairs that we didn't authorize the firm to do. And it was ours when they had it all disassembled, we were looking at it, we said we should do this too also. It almost doubles the job, which makes me really hesitant to come here and ask for it. But we're still, even if the job winds up at $60,000, we're still well below the $750,000 I look for a new distributor. So it'd be my recommended to follow with the additional repairs. I hate to come to the board a second time to make this request because.
But just so we understand, you're coming, why is the cost doubled?
Yeah.
Because when we got it, some of the parts that are always submerged that you can't see, when they got the whole thing apart, we discovered that it's all pinholed. It looks like Swiss cheese.
Oh,
That's
this is
what that
what that
There you go.
is.
Right, yeah.
This
Especially,
isn't sediment, this is the pinholes.
those are pinholes, and
okay.
especially, notice it follows the welds, because the welds change the nature of the metal as they do it, and it made it more susceptible to corrosion. And that really weakens it, because the welds are the point where you put structural elements on. So it came to a point to where the metal is not suitable for, you can't just put a new weld down there, because it's got penetrated with water and contaminants, and it just kind of blows up. Aluminum's hard to weld anyways, but, so, yeah, we discovered additional damage we didn't expect to find.
Right, we just wouldn't have known this until it was torn apart.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Comments?
So is this, now this does not require a bid process or anything, this is just something,
Had we not had an emergency failure, we'd have gone through the normal bid process. There's an identical unit next to this that we're going to dewater and get a insertion camera and do a bunch of inspection. And at that point, for the second unit, because it's still functioning, still working, we can go through the normal bid process. And that's my intent. As soon as we're done with this one and we get it up and running and we get that tower functioning properly, we'll go to the second unit and get it fixed. I'm hoping that happens like in the spring or early summer when the water's warmed up and it's easier to treat.
so with this, so the cost of this repair, does this go through, and I forgot the name of it, where through the state of Indiana, we've got the ability, like it's already sort of quoted repair, or is this outside of that?
This is just a
just-
separate
okay.
repair of a piece of equipment.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, we couldn't use the QPA or
Oh,
the.
yeah, okay.
And it's a rather specialized piece of equipment. If you were to, I seriously doubt it's in the QPA or in the Minnesota system either.
Sourcewell.
It's just. what's that?
Sourcewell, that's what I was
Sourcewell,
trying to
yes.
think of, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very specialized piece of equipment and technology that's not current.
Gotcha, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Tucker King.
So today I bring a letter. It's essentially a memorandum of understanding, just providing information regarding our rights and responsibilities for setting up our solar panel system at the old water plant out on Pumping Station Road and at Plant 2. So this is a letter from NIPSCO stating all of the rights that we have and the responsibilities that we have for eventually interconnecting with their system. And we just need a signature to keep moving forward on the project.
Does the mayor sign? Is it the mayor that signs?
I do believe
Thought it
so.
was all three of us, or?
Oh, I guess
Customer affirmation and signature, and it has a single signature line. So yeah, I would say mayor.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Comments?
It's just, I mean, is this standard sort of legal in terms of interconnection?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that Jerry probably had to sign something similar. It's just it's a part of Indiana law stating.
Mr. Otis, you're comfortable with this?
Yes.
And this is a net metering contract?
Yeah, I mean, it's net metering and excess distribution generation. It's not the contract itself, it's the understanding of the law that comes
Okay.
along with what that contract will look like eventually.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
The only caution I had is that when we signed our contract and got our tower, our solar field up and running, NIPSCO had some work to do. And it took about a year before we were able to give them all the power that we were producing, which was disappointing. So when it comes down to the contract, I just make sure everything's
Yeah.
ready to roll as the project goes.
Yeah, and I think that like underneath, so it states all of our rights, there's 7 rights. Part of those rights is knowing like what the cost of installation will be, the timeline we should be looking at, what amount of power generation we should have through that and everything like that. So I think that's, essentially we're saying, by signing this, we are made clear that we should be able to understand these things from our contractor who's doing that work and NIPSCO's end too.
But to Mr. Jackson's point, are we
Yes.
covered?
For now, till the next step. when we
Yeah,
make
the
sure we
next
cover
step will
those.
really, when
Yeah.
you sign the contract that says they'll take your electricity and give it back as a net metering, that's when you want to make sure they have the facilities.
Okay, good to know. Thank
I
you.
do have a motion.
You do.
Further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Unfinished business. I apologize about the Santa Parade. I know rescheduling was difficult because of the availability of the chalet and other things, but Santa will be in his home most of the month. I saw Mr. Batchelor out there last night. He wasn't in his home yet, and I apologize you didn't get a chance to see him when you were there last
But
night.
I thought it was a code enforcement visit that we were gonna.
No,
take
he
an
was-
Issue with.
Not enough cookies.
He was looking for his peppermint
Candy canes?
candy cane, so that's why he went in the dark. I caught him there about 7:30 last night, but he will be available, and I know he'll be at Pioneer Land this weekend. Craig, isn't that right? You said you were going to see him at Pioneer Land?
He's got.
Okay. Further comments?
I just know kids are concerned if he couldn't navigate that snowstorm. Is he gonna be able to handle it on Christmas?
Rest assured, we get more snow than most, and he is now ready. He wanted to practice through that. He just didn't want to put the public in danger, so.
Mayor, I had one more item that I
Yeah,
didn't
please.
get on the agenda. Sorry, I missed it.
We're doing
We're in the process of closing our underground storage tanks for diesel and gas, and I need a set of bid specs to bid that project. So it would be a survey, a drawing of here's what you gotta remove, here's the testing you have to do, here's the IDEM interface, all the forms you have to respond to IDEM. GS Environmental does that work, and they've given us a contract and a proposed contract. The amount of the work would be $4,700. Nick hasn't had a chance to look at it. If you do elect to approve it, I'd say contingent on Nick reviewing the contract and making sure it's correct and up to snuff. I'd like to proceed with this, and so I'd ask the board if they could approve it
Maybe Nick
contingent.
Yeah, I
Mr.
did
Nick.
get a chance
look
to
at it?
review it. I did
Okay.
get a chance to respond, and it looks good. Aegis does this all the time. They're really efficient at it. They're one of a handful of local firms that, can do this really efficiently. So James Hoover takes good care of us on other projects too, very professional. Think it'd be good to just get it done.
Thank you, Nick.
And what does this do?
They'll provide all the bid documents for the removal of our underground gas and diesel tanks.
But we still want legal to review it.
Just it's a contract, so yes.
Motion to approve with legal review.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Sorry for the last minute.
Motion to adjourn?
Wait, are we doing this?
What was
Oh,
this?
do we want to,
Shady
Mr.
Creek?
Pirelli? Are we going to
Oh,
leave that on?
I haven't had any feedback from them. I don't have anything new to add yet.
I know we were hoping for a meeting. I know,
I can call Dave, there's attorney, and
So we'll just wait.
we'll keep it on hold, Craig, because Craig and I met with Ken Jones as well. So we were looking to have a meeting. So motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Have a great day, everybody.